Hello again. This is take two. Something went wrong. I had a glitch in my reception, so it totally cut me out. So I was talking about the mini catalog, and if you are a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you could pre-order starting today out of the catalog, and you can see my wish tabs. Plus, for every $50 or $100 you spend, you can choose a free item out of the Celebration catalog. So, needless to say, I got a few goodies ordered, and I can't wait to share them with you. Okay, let's try this again. So, as you hop on, can you please tell me hello and where you're from? I love to know who's watching and where they're watching from. If it's cold weather or warm weather or tropical weather, that's awesome. So tonight, I am going to show you three different kinds of embossing folders. And I know I went over embossing folders before, but I'm going to do it again and show you the three different kinds, show you some different things you can do with them, and then also show you the swap card that I made for my team meeting. It's my uplines team meeting tomorrow night. It's our Christmas gathering, so it will be very fun, and there's 16 of us swapping, making shoebox swaps. So shoebox swap is where you make one card, and then you cut all the pieces to make that card, and the ribbon, the embellishments and everything, and you put them in individual packets for each person to make their own swap card. So there are 16 of us swapping, so I will come home with 15 new cards that I made that someone else designed. So that's cool. So that'll be fun, and it's just a fun time to get together with other demonstrators, other creative minds, and just enjoy each other. So I am going to point you to my work surface. There we go. And I have been saying for quite a while with my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, my plates, that my plate, I really need to change it out. So, as you can see, this is really dark. That is actually paper fibers that are in the cuts of the acrylic plate, and you can't get them out. And this plate bows as well. Can you see that? And so it's bent. So it doesn't really, you know, a die doesn't lay flat on there, although when it goes to the machine, it will be flat. But it's hard to line things up and keep it in place. So I have finally opened another pack, and I have a new plate so you can see the difference. Let me put a color behind that. So you've got one that you can't hardly see anything through, and then another clear one that is crystal clear, no cuts in it at all. So I'm going to toss this. Someone asked one time if it can be recycled, and I do not know the answer to that. It very well may be able to be recycled, but I don't know. So I have a new plate for my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now this one's still a little clear. There's no cuts in it because I always used it as my top plate. So I'm just going to keep that and keep using that. So I'm going to set those aside. So then I got looking at my big Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm like, wow, that one looks pretty bad too. And then I looked at that, and it's pretty bowed. Yep, there's quite a curve in there, and it's on both sides. So I have got a new plate for that one as well. Now, someone, you may wonder if you can get a new one of these. Yes, you can. And actually, mine's getting pretty beat up. It still works, though, but yes, you can absolutely get a new one of those as well. So I'm going to be using these and the 3D embossing folder plate. Okay, so there are three, like I said, three different kinds of embossing folders. So this one is Christmas Tidings embossing folder. It's a flat, how do I explain it? It's just one height of embossing. So everything is the same height. There's no dimension. It doesn't have variance of heights of the embossing. So let me put this through the embossing machine and explain. So the first thing I want to do is I want to have my number 1 plate, which is the base plate. Then I want the number 2 plate. Actually, I do not want this. It says right on it, the directions. So if you don't know, if you aren't sure of how to sandwich it, it tells you. Do not use with embossing folders. Pretty plain, straightforward. So we are not using those with embossing folders. So then I'm going to use base plate 3, not base plate, acrylic plate 3. And then I'm going to take my embossing folder, and you see how it has the logo and then this line? That's a line that you can use to make sure your paper is straight inside the embossing folder. So I just line it up like so, okay? You always want to put the hinged side in to the machine first, never the outside. If you do the outside, there's too much pressure on that, and it will break that seam on that embossing folder. And if you don't believe me, well, trust me, it happens. Want to know how I know? Because someone did it at a class because they weren't following directions. So make sure you put the hinged end in first, so as the pressure goes through, it lets it go out this end. If you put this end in first, the open end, there's nothing for that pressure to go through, and it will break that binding, okay? So this is how it looks, and it's just one, like I said, one level of height embossing. This is dry embossing, okay? So I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to show you a 3D embossing folder, and it's the same idea. It has a line to line up your paper, and it has different heights. The embossing has different heights. So let me, okay, I think I have one sheet of paper here. All right. So again, I've lined it up on that line. I'm going to put it in hinge end first. Actually, this is a 3D embossing folder. So we do not want this acrylic plate. We want the dark gray plate. And it says right on the baseboard, number 4. So this is number 4. It says using with 3D embossing folders. So it's the base plate, your embossing folder, and the dark gray plate number 4. So I'm going to put that down. That, and then just wind it through. then this one, you can see how some of these notes are raised higher than the music lines and obviously the base of the card. So it's different levels of embossing. That's what a 3D folder will do for you. Now I want to show you something else with a 3D folder. I'm going to move this out of my way. And I'm going to, on the side with the logo, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to take, what color do I want? I'm just going to do black. Crazy, not real exciting, but I'm going to do black. If I can get it open. This is the Memento Tuxedo Black. And I'm just going to, yep, that's not going to, oh, there we go. I'm going to ink it up. Just get ink all over it. You're probably thinking, Arlena, what in the world are you doing? And then I'm going to take a piece of paper and I'm going to line it up on that line. I'm going to close it. I'm going to bring back in my embossing machine. Leave that base plate on there. Put my embossing folder down. Take my number 4 gray plate and run it through. Let me move this. That did not turn out the way I thought it would. I do not like that. Let me show you what I did for my shoebox swap. I took the new embossing folder. Oh, I just lost the label. A new embossing folder called Layered Florals 3D. And this is what it did when I inked up the inside. So it is absolutely stunning. Gives it even more dimension. And we're going to make a card with that when I'm done. So then what I'll do with this is I'm just going to run water over it and wipe it dry with a paper towel, and it will be good to go. So I'm going to set that aside. And then the other embossing folder. So we've got the regular embossing folder, the 3D embossing folder, and this is a hybrid embossing folder. And I've kept it in the package just to keep it together because they do go together. This is called Sweet Citrus. And it's all lemons. Isn't that cool? And then these are the dies. And this die right here actually fits inside here. And then it actually cuts and emboss at the same time, which makes it a hybrid. So I'm going to try this again. I'm going to take Daffodil Delight and get some ink on there. We'll try this again. Ooh, you know what? again, just to get the tops of that. And then I'm going to put this in here. Fits perfect in there. There's like a little groove that it fits in. Then I'm going to take a piece of paper. I'm going to close it. Bring in my embossing machine again. My base plate number 1, my embossing folder, my plate number 4 for 3D embossing, and then you just wind it through, and it's not cranking hard through there at all. It's going really smooth. That pop at the end is absolutely normal. Let's hope this turned out good. Take this off. Take this off. And these are my pieces, and they are cut, embossed, and colored. And then again, I'll just run water over this to clean it. And dry it with a towel. Now I could cut these out too if I wanted to. Like that one, that one's very cute. I will want to cut that one out. Just in case I want some more citrus. Now I have seen these with some pink in them too, like Calypso Coral or Flirty Flamingo. Just a little bit. And it takes on the look of a grapefruit. So you can just, you know, not let any of this go to waste. And when you make your card, use all these pieces and pop them up with dimensionals. There we go. So we have all those lemon pieces. Okay. Do I have another? I don't have another piece of white. I was gonna show you what it would look like without the dye. It would just be a sheet like this of lemons. So that is fun. So that's a hybrid. So we have the basic embossing folder, 3D embossing folder, which has different levels of embossing. And then we have the hybrid where it embosses and cuts at the same time. Okay. So now I'm going to move all this stuff. Yay! And make some room for the card we're going to make. All right, so this is the piece that I showed you that I made, that I'm making for my shoebox swap. It's called Layered Florals, and it's new. And I took, so shoebox swap, originally, you know, you took all your supplies and all the kits in a shoebox. So that's exactly what I did. And I took it to the studio today to make sure that I had it there for tomorrow. And I realized I don't have any of my supplies here at home to finish this. So I'm going to improvise. So I am going to take a half sheet of thick basic white. So thick basic white and basic white, the difference is one's thicker than the other. The one that's thick actually makes a nice sturdy card base. So it's not flimsy, it holds up real well, and it's it's just nicer. It's not so flimsy. So I fold it in half, and then I'm going to put, I am not going to put this down yet. I am going to take some ribbon, and this is Balmy Blue White ribbon. So it's a brand new bolt because I used my last one on all my swaps. So I'm just going to open that up. And I want this on my left side. I have a certain way that I tie bows, and my bolt always has to be on my left, and then my end has to be on my right. Okay. And I always have enough to work with, so I'm not struggling with it. Okay. And then I just tie it like so, and I want it off to the side. Okay. This ribbon makes the most beautiful bows, I think. Oh. Okay, so it's upside down, which is okay, because I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to slide this over this way, pull it down, there we go. And I think it's going to look just perfect. Cut that. I want to cut that at an angle. So pretty. And then my Balmy Blue ink pad, guess where it is? It's in the shoebox. So I thought, okay, what other color could I stamp the sentiment with that would go with Balmy Blue? So I had a label in my, I have a little tray that has different labels in it and different cutouts that when I have extras, I just put them in there. So I just grabbed this. And I don't remember where this label is from, what die set. But it will work perfect for this. Actually, I can bring this right in and glue it down on my card base right now. So I'm just going to run the Stamp and Seal. You can use Stamp and Seal Plus, your liquid glue, whatever adhesive choice you want. They all work. Sometimes we recommend that you use a stronger adhesive, either the Stamp and Seal Plus or the Tear and Tape or the glue, if you're making something that, like a box or something that has moving parts, because you want it to stay together, you don't want it to fall apart. Okay, I'm going to take my label, and I have my So Sincere stamp set. I love this. It has a vertical happy birthday. I love that. I love vertical stamps. In my opinion, there's not enough of them. And then I'm going to use the So Thankful for You stamp out of there. And I'm going to use Azure Afternoon. Doesn't that sound beautiful? I don't know if I'm saying it right, but that's what I like to call it, Azure. Tap, tap, tap. You don't need to, push into the ink pad, really hard or anything. Just tap, tap, tap. You only want ink where the raised part of the stamp is. You don't want it around the edge or anything, because when you stamp, that could make a shadow if you press too hard. So then I'm going to line this up. Yay. Looks a little low, but that's okay because we can offset it with some embellishments. I'm going to take my Stampin' Scrub. I already misted it earlier and it's still wet, so I don't need to spray any more on. Little goes a long way. And then I wipe on my dry side, and the stamp is all clean and conditioned. Okay. Then I want to pop up with dimensionals. And I know I have dimensionals. Okay, so I'm using up one that I have just the border left. And you might say, Arlena, aren't you a little heavy on the dimensionals? I am, but it's going over a ribbon, so I want to make sure that it's really stuck down. If I was just going to stick it to the paper, I would just use 2. But I really want it stuck over this ribbon. All right. Fluff up the bow a little bit. And then I'm using iridescent pearls. These are in the annual catalog, and they kind of get lost sometimes, but they are absolutely beautiful. I'm going to use my Take My Pick tool. So I do have putty on the end of that. I'm going to just push down on it and push away. It lifts it up. And then I'm going to push it down in the center of it. Oh, that's a good place for that one. Look at all those pearls you get. How many do you get? 150 pearls on this little card. I'm going to put one here and one here. And there we have a sweet, simple card that looks so elegant. And that embossing folder is what I did to it with the ink is just takes it to the next level. So that's what we have for tonight. This is short and sweet. Hello, Linda. Did you see my card? I hope you like it. I hope you're doing well. All right, I am going to point you back up to me. Hello. So, again, if you are a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, pre-order started today for the mini catalog. I can only show you the front. Thank you, Linda. I can only show you the front. That's Stampin' Up! Rules. And then we have the celebration as well. And that has all the free items you can get when you purchase. For customers, the sale starts January 4th. So right after Christmas. So if you get any Christmas money, you are definitely able to spend it on Stampin' Up! Products. There are some gorgeous, gorgeous things in the catalog. I did put in my order today because, again, because I'm a demonstrator, I can pre-order. So when I get those, I'm going to make some projects with them, and I'm going to share them with you so you can see what's coming down the pipe. All right, that's all I have tonight. I hope you have a wonderful evening, a great rest of the week, which there's what? Today's Tuesday. Oh, I'll be back Thursday. Not sure what we're going to do, but we'll come up with something. I'm sure I could unbox something new. And then we'll be off to the weekend. So you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you for joining me and for supporting me. And I love you all. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.